We're here. Make your call. Use the numbers on your screen. We're going to take you to your hometown where it's all happening, right at the nerve center where your heart can respond. Thank you, Seco. Thanks for getting up being you.
And welcome back to our little corner of the Easter Sales Telethon. When we left you about 20 minutes ago, we were a little bit over $98,000. We're almost, but not quite, to the magic figure. Total now $99,048. Let's see if we can't make it to $100,000 before we go back to the network. Susie Humphreys.
I've got some really special people that I want you to meet, and I think particularly a lot of you can really relate to this because it is something that we fear, we as adults really, really fear, and that is, what do we do if we have a stroke? Jim Vaught is a man that can answer that question because Jim Vaught had a stroke. And Betty Plack, who's the occupational therapist at Fort Worth Easter Seals, is well aware of his plight and his dilemma and what he's been doing to get himself back on the road to recovery. And I guess, Jim, the first thing I want to ask you, how old were you when you had your stroke?
I was 48.
48 years old. And were you in good health up to that point?
I was in good health up until the time I had a stroke. It's been a year ago, about now, that I had a stroke. And I was in the hospital for 58 days, and well, it was in May when I got out of the hospital, and I started therapy in May, home therapy, and then I went down to Easter Seals, and they're the people that put me back on my feet.
You know, Jim, it's interesting that you say you went down to Easter Seals because I still think that we think of Easter Seals strictly in terms of children and really don't stop and think about the millions of adults that benefit from Easter Seals.
That's right.
How did you know to go there?
Well, I was told to go there with friends, and I went down there, and they were real nice. You could either pay for it or your insurance paid for it. And fortunately, my insurance paid for it.
That is fortunate.
Yes, and they paid over $2,000 of my bill.
Betty, I want to ask you, have you been working with Jim ever since he came to the Fort Worth Easter Seals office?
Yes, from time to time. I also had another therapist there at the center who we both shared the responsibility with working with.
And
Mr.
how
Vaught.
often did you work with Jim during the first months?
He was scheduled 3 times a week to come in for both physical therapy and occupational therapy. He had a speech evaluation at Easter Seal also and was given a home program to work on. But he was seen 3 times a week in both PT and OT.
Jim, a lot of changes had to occur in your life.
Sure did.
There are emotional changes, and there are things that you have to face about yourself. You know, we never see ourselves as having that kind of disability.
Yeah.
But you were with General Dynamics,
I was with General Dynamics, and I went back to work the 4th of January this year. After 10 months of being off, I went back to work the 4th, and they were real good to me out there. They gave me a job of making circuit cards.
Making circuit?
Making circuit cards, which is the easiest job in the plant.
What was your job before you had the stroke?
I made test equipment, and it's a lot easier than making test equipment.
Yeah.
And,
how did you feel about that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that the people out there have been great to me, and they've just been wonderful to me. They've let me come in on a walker, and they've taken great care of me. You
sound like a man then that thinks in terms of my cup is not half empty, but rather it's half full.
It's half full.
You really do believe that,
that's right.
don't you?
That's right. It's half full.
You know, you've got a lot of people watching, and a lot of people may be uncomfortable watching you because we don't want to be reminded that this too can happen to us. But what would you say to those people?
Well, if I can help just one person a day, I'll be happy. I've come a long ways in the last year, and you can see that by the way I look now.
Yes.
I'm a walker, and walking myself, and I've come a long ways in the last year.
You really have, and Betty, thank you for helping Jim come that long way. And I want to remind you that the Fort Worth Easter Seal office really helps a lot of adults, and strokes are just some of the victims that are helped. Of course, the children, but strokes and accidents and all kinds of things that can happen. We thought it was real important on this Palm Sunday that you meet a man who's really got the spirit to go on and make the most of who he is and what his life is all about. Let's go to Alan.
Okay, Susie. We got dance-a-thons, marathons, just a telethon. How about a phone-a-thon? This young lady, Linda Malcheski, has been involved in, what, a 4-day phone-a-thon last week?
It was run